Please be seated. Listen for God's word to you, beginning with the Gospel of Luke, the 23rd chapter, starting at the 26th verse. As they led Jesus away, they seized Simon, a Cyrenian, who was just coming in from the fields, and forced him to carry the cross behind Jesus. A large crowd was following, many of them women, who were beating their breasts and wailing for him. At one point, Jesus turned to these women and said, "Daughters of Jerusalem, don't weep for me. Weep rather for yourselves and for your children. The time is coming when it will be said, 'Blessed are the childless, the wombs that never gave birth, the breasts that have never nursed.' Then people will say to the mountains, 'Fall on us,' and to the hills, 'Cover us up.' For if they do these things when the wood is green, what will happen when it is dry?" 2 others were also led off with Jesus, criminals who were to be put to death. When they had reached the place called the Skull, they crucified Jesus there together with the criminals, one on his right and one on his left. And Jesus said, "Abba, Father, forgive them. They don't know what they're doing." Then they divided Jesus' garments, rolling dice for them. The people stood there watching. The rulers, however, jeered him and said, "He saved others. Let him save himself, if he really is the Messiah of God, the chosen one." The soldiers also mocked him. They served Jesus sour wine and said, "If you are really the King of the Jews, save yourself." There was an inscription above Jesus that read, "This is the King of the Jews." One of the criminals who hung there beside him insulted Jesus too, saying, "Are you really the Messiah? Then save yourself and us." But the other answered the first with a rebuke, "Don't you even fear God? We are only paying the price for what we have done. But this one has done nothing wrong." Then he said, "Jesus, remember me when you come into your glory." Jesus replied, "The truth is, today you'll be with me in paradise." Standing close to Jesus' cross were his mother's sister Mary, the wife of Clopas, and Mary of Magdala. When Jesus saw his mother and the disciple whom he loved standing there, Jesus said to his mother, "Here is your son." Then Jesus said to his disciple, "Here is your mother." From that moment, the disciple took her into his household. Some of Jesus' followers remained nearby, standing alongside, waiting with him, watching through these long moments as they stretched into hours. As he hung on the cross, several women were standing by with Jesus to the end. A few from the inner circle remained close also. And in a culture where family is of extreme importance, in his last hours, his last moments, Jesus saw his mother, Mary, the woman who had given him birth, who listened to everything that had been said about her son, holding these things in her heart, pondering each word, listening to the words of her son as his ministry moved forward, even as danger mounted. Jesus, in his brokenheartedness, attends to the brokenheartedness of his mother, assuring that she will be cared for in these moments and also through the rest of her life after he was gone. Jesus had made his final arrangements, put his affairs in order as the end drew near.